And then we'll get to the United Auto Workers. There's a lot to talk about there. Okay?
We turn now to the latest on Hunter Biden. The president's son was indicted by federal prosecutors on 3 gun charges after a plea deal fell apart. In a moment, we'll be hearing from his attorney live. But first, our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas, joins us now. Good morning, Pierre.
Rebecca, good morning. 2 months ago, the president's son seemed on the verge of putting this case largely behind him. But now he's at the center of a legal and political storm that could damage his father.
This morning, the consequences of a plea deal unraveling. The president's son indicted on 3 felony gun charges. Hunter Biden facing 2 counts of making false statements and 1 count of illegal gun possession. The charges filed by special counsel David Weiss are tied to Hunter Biden's drug addiction, which in 2018 was so bad that he was using crack cocaine, quote, at times as frequently as every 15 minutes.
I went one time for 13 days without sleeping and smoking crack and drinking vodka exclusively.
Impressive.
Throughout that entire time.
That year in October, Hunter Biden purchased a Colt revolver and filled out a form saying he was not a drug user, which prosecutors say made his purchase and possession of the gun illegal. But the gun charge was supposed to go away when Biden agreed to plead guilty to tax crimes as part of a deal with David Weiss, who was a Trump-appointed U.S. attorney for Delaware who had been investigating Biden for 5 years. After that deal fell apart, Weiss successfully lobbied the Attorney General and asked to be named special counsel.
Mr. Weiss has the authority he needs to conduct a thorough investigation and to continue to take the steps he deems appropriate independently.
Weiss then warned that any chance of plea negotiations restarting was unlikely, telling the court, quote, the parties are at an impasse. But this morning, Hunter Biden's attorneys are claiming that the special counsel is bending to political pressure, mainly from House Republicans who are seeking to impeach the president with thus far little to no evidence of crimes. On Capitol Hill, some Republicans not satisfied, saying the indictment does not go far enough, while some Democrats argue the justice system is working.
I'm glad it's being uncovered. I wish it had been recovered.
It's like every single Republican, I want to know what their take is on gun laws in general. They're like, oh, thank God, finally, the justice is being served. It's like every Republican, this is probably the first time they've ever been on board with a situation where they are saying that like a God-fearing American is not allowed to bear arms, okay? It's pretty funny. I tweeted about this. And, of course, some of the lamest motherfuckers were like, no jokes allowed. This is a very serious thing. I love when, like, irony Twitter that's like, oh, I'm actually, I actually think, like, we're really edgy with our jokes. And I love making references to people with Down syndrome and blah, blah, blah. They're like, very mad that I said that it'll never not be funny that the Republicans are championing jailing this fail son, and the only tangible prosecutable acts they have on him are gun charges and tax evasion, things Republicans love doing. It's like if Democrats wanted to arrest someone for being gay. Like, it's clearly a joke, right? But it's just like Twitter is incapable of comprehending jokes at this point. If you are on Twitter, you're basically on fucking Facebook. Look at this one. This platform is just Facebook now. Here's another great example of this. This guy posted, a child in America is 66,667 times more likely to be sold to human traffickers than die of COVID-19. In addition, your mask assists them in being transported undetected and unidentifiable by anyone. Exactly. This reality really needs to be brought out to the forefront. Truth. Horrifying. It's like, it's nuts. It's nuts. People have lost their minds. This is just like, it's just Facebook. These people are mad by cameras everywhere. When you told them the mask, they post this shit. What do you do? Platform's ruined. Just fucking ruined. Like, this is where you shit posted with other equally mentally ill or more mentally ill people than you. okay, about the people on Facebook and about how silly they were on Facebook. The kind of like boomer mental illness being on Twitter is not a good thing because it's not good for posts. It's just like, it's not good for posts if everyone's like that. You know what I mean? I hate that. Anyway, let's continue.
It's been uncovered 4 years ago.
If Hunter Biden committed crimes, he should be held accountable. That should happen.
Never mind Facebook. You're just on 4chan, Lamar. Yeah. I mean, well, 4chan is kind of Facebook too. The hilarity is that, or the irony is that a big chunk of the 4chan itself has also become very Facebook adjacent. Like a lot of the 4chan guys, like it used to be like 14-year-olds, you know what I mean? And then some pedophiles. And now it's like most of those 14-year-olds are now like 35, you know what I mean? And they're still on 4chan. QAnon did not come from Facebook. QAnon was popularized on Facebook. It came from 4chan. A lot of the 4chan freaks are now no longer like young kids or whatever. They're literally just like reaching their fucking 40s and 30s, and they're still on those anonymous message boards. They haven't changed mentally since 14. They still live with their parents usually. And the type of posting that they engage in where they call people friends and whatnot and talk about how alcoholic they are now, or talk about their battles with like fucking alcoholism. Like that part, like their lives have just gotten progressively fucking worse, but the mentality is still there.
Happen in the court of law. Hunter Biden is a private citizen. He is not the president of the United States.
The president has stood by his son, but Thursday he had no comment as he tries to show that he's not influencing this case. George.
Okay, Pierre, thanks very much.
All right. Hunter Biden's attorney went on to defend our big, beautiful boy, Hunter.
Biden's attorney, Abby Lowell. Abby, thank you for joining us this morning. We just put in the piece that you say the prosecutors are bending to political pressure. But are you maintaining that your client is actually innocent of the charges?
Well, innocent has three legs to it, doesn't it? First, as to the political pressure, I want to make sure everybody understands that after 5 years of an investigation, that the prosecutors knew all the facts, and the only change that has occurred between when they investigated and today is that the law changed. But the law didn't change in favor of a prosecution. The law changed against it because a couple of federal courts have found this gun charge to be unconstitutional. So first, there's an agreement in place where this charge should have been brought. Second, this statute is likely unconstitutional. And third, on the facts, we think we'll have a defense.
So you say you think you'll have a defense, but on the form, Hunter Biden wrote that he was not a drug user, and by his own admission, he was a drug user, wasn't he?
Well, okay, look, if you're going to be specific, then be specific. If the form asks if you are a drug user on the day you buy a gun, that is an issue. If it says, have you ever used drugs, that's an issue, and that will be played out in court.
So
again, I want to point out.
Let me just stop you there. So you're saying that your defense is going to be that he was not a drug user on the day he signed the form?
No, our defense has multiple parts to it. And the first is that there's a deal in place that should have prevented this. The second is that courts are finding the statute unconstitutional. And the third, if it ever gets that far.
Oh, my God. That's crazy, dude. Hunter Biden's legal team is literally unwinding or utilizing the lack of adequate protections, the lack of adequate regulations surrounding gun ownership, okay? And they're doing it because guess who's the fucking reason why there is no adequate regulation around gun ownership? The motherfucking Republicans who are now screaming from the fucking rooftops about how Hunter Biden needs to be thrown the book. A normal person would never be indicted for this. I mean, that's like half of the fucking country's gun owners, okay? Is this how we get gun control? Fuck no. Fuck, absolutely fuck no. There is no shot. I mean, saying that people can't buy a gun if they're a drug user, which is super vague, is pretty dumb. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Do you think they'll mention this on Fox News? Yes, they are. They have been. They've been talking about it like it's so funny that Hunter Biden is, Joe Biden is going to be unwinding the Joe Biden crime family is going to be working to destroy Second Amendment protections, which we all like and enjoy and defend. Like they're making it seem like they think this is reasonable in their minds or some shit. It's like a total transfer of opinions.
Far, and we don't believe it should, there'll be a defense on the facts of this case. And again, I need to point out for people who are paying attention that what's odd about this is the fact that this happened in 2018. Law enforcement showed up, no charges. The U.S. Attorney's Office has known about this for years, no charges. When they found out about it and made a deal, it was for a diverted agreement. What changed? Not the facts, not the law, but all the politics that have now come into play.
Was Hunter Biden a drug user on the day he signed the form?
I think that's something that if it ever gets that far, you and everybody else will see the evidence.
And what is the evidence?
The evidence will be presented when and if there is a trial. It's not going to be,
I mean, see, dude, one thing to notice, one thing to point out here, are there no good Republican lawyers? Because every single time I hear a Trump defendant, or a Trump co-defendant, lawyer speak on mainstream news, they never do real lawyer shit. This guy is a real fucking lawyer. Like, that's classic. He's doing lawyer speak. He's like, if there's any evidence, you'll see on the trial. Like, I don't know why the Trump team, like, you rarely ever see this kind of lawyering from the Trump team. Like, all of their fucking lawyers are like just ruining the chance of their clients. And one thing that Hunter Biden's not doing, if you might have noticed that as well, is go on television and fucking basically admit to the crimes while simultaneously yelling about how the judge is a pedophile or whatever, like Republicans do all the time. What is happening there? It's very strange that when Republicans are under any kind of legal scrutiny, they immediately go to national TV and just start yelling about how the judge has actually got pedophile babies in the basement or something. Like these are the babies are pedophiles, not just the judge. Like Hunter Biden is doing what you're supposed to do in a situation like this. Shut the fuck up. And then maybe have your lawyer go on TV and just do lawyer speak.
It's somehow prelimed in this interview today or any other. Look, George, I want people to understand what happened yesterday. And what happened yesterday is that after prosecutors were on the scene and investigated and saw what happened, no charges were ever filed. When a charge was theoretically filed, it was a diversion agreement. And since that time, no fact has changed. They've known all the facts about Hunter's possession of a gun for years and the law that is being applied.
For the record, like, I mean, he's doing lawyer speak, but like, yeah, Hunter Biden literally fucking filmed himself with the revolver while on crack. Like, he is dead to rights on this, for the record. Now, someone might say a private citizen would never be investigated or arrested on this, but Hunter Biden is no normal citizen. A normal citizen wouldn't be fucking filming themselves doing crack with a fucking gun, and a normal citizen would not have had their shit plastered all over the internet after they got fucking hacked like this. So, like, you know, it's just Hunter Biden is no normal citizen. Do you see what I'm saying? Have you met Florida? I mean, I guess you're right. That's true.
Applied has only gotten to the point where the statute has been held to be unconstitutional. What people should be focused.
But yeah, if there was a If law enforcement caught wind of a normal dude doing that, then yes, they would prosecute them as well, 100%. Because it's like such an easy dub. It's a win-win for everybody involved, you know what I mean?
Focusing on is not what happened 5 years ago, but what happened in the last 6 weeks to change a diverted agreement into now a felony gun charge. And the only thing that's changed has been the political pressure put on by the Republicans in Congress and the media that supports them.
You said if this reaches a trial, do you think a plea...
Look at him. He's just staying on message. He's only there to say this trial is a mockery. No one else is going to defend Hunter Biden. So his defense is going on TV to say this trial is political. It's bullshit. And he's just staying on message. No additional sauce necessary. It's a political trial. It's a political trial. My client did nothing wrong. And if he did do something wrong, maybe you'll find out in the court. The evidence will come out if there is any evidence to begin with. I will not confirm nor deny that there is evidence that my client was smoking crack with a revolver that he purchased and filmed himself doing so.
Plea deal is still possible?
I think the case will be dismissed before trial.
Abby Lowell, thanks very much.
Why is Hunter's lawyer using the free speech defense, smoking crack and buying guns, the purest expression of our First Amendment rights and our Second Amendment rights? All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and MBs, United Auto Workers strikes begin. That's right. This is the top news story of the day. The United Auto Workers Union is striking against big three automakers in the United States of America: Stellantis, General Motors, and Ford. Why are you coming over here and wagging your tail? Huh? Because you want attention? Is that what you want? Is that what you want? You want attention? Huh? Here's the attention you ordered. I love you so much. Oh my God, you're such a fucking cutie patootie. It's, She's supporting the union. Kaya loves labor rights. It's true. It's true. She loves it. Don't we love it, folks? We love our labor, folks. We love it. I feed her eye boogers all the time. She loves it. I don't know why. It's disgusting, but she loves it. We're going to do the GM CEO and all that, dude. There's so much good stuff that I pulled up here about this particular issue. Do not worry. Fear not. We got all of that lined the fuck up. We got Big Brandon. Big Boss Brandon. We got a strike breaker, Drew Barrymore, apologizing. Woo, labor news is on top today. Boy, we got some labor news, dude. Holy moly, we got some labor ass news. Another strike breaker, also, another scab getting their comeuppance. But before, let's do the background.